Hello and welcome to our Pilates setup. Are you ready to begin? Excellent. So stand with feet hip width apart. Press your feet down into the floor. So equal weight in the balls of the feet and the heels, left and right. So pushing down, and as you push down with your feet, imagine yourself growing up through the ankles, pushing down with those feet. So growing up, ankles, calves, up through the thighs, growing tall and up through the hips and the lower back. Keep bringing yourself taller and taller, mid-back, through the shoulders, and finally the crown of the head itself pulling towards the ceiling. So we're now as tall as we possibly can be. Now take the shoulders and just shrug them back and down to make sure that they're sitting snugly and securely on top of our shoulder blades. So don't force them, just let them sit and rest naturally. Now the most important bit is to engage our core. Now our core for this engagement is the transversus abdominis muscle. It's that muscle that runs from the top of the hips around the lower ribs. So it's a big sheet of muscle like a belt. So we're going to tighten it like a belt all the way around, not just at the front. So coming tall again, pull that muscle in, pull that belt in around your body from the back round to the front. Squeeze it all in and squeeze as hard as you can. So really, really squeeze through that belt, and at the same time bring the pelvic floor up and squeeze that as well, so you can hardly do any more effort. Squeeze, 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 and now release to about 30% of that contraction. So we're still engaged, but we're not really squeezing too hard. You can feel that engagement around the core area. This is the level of engagement we're going to keep throughout the whole session today. Okay, keeping that height, keeping that engagement, we're going to walk the heels together, and we're going to start with heel lifts. Just a little warm up as we come up onto our heels, so onto our toes, raising our heels off the floor. Can you get both heels off at the same time? So coming up on both as we swap our feet over. Now at the same time, keep the legs going. We're going to look over one shoulder, squeezing into the neck and upper back, and move the head horizontally as we go round the other way and squeeze lightly. Round to the front and round the other side again, squeezing perhaps a little bit more range of motion out. And now round to the second side. This time when we come back, we're going to drop the chin towards the chest and roll through in a semicircle. So we're going to bring the upper back in as well. And we're going to come back the other way. So chin towards the chest, feel the stretch in the neck and the upper back. Keep those legs going as we bring the head towards the front. And now we're going to keep the feet still. We're going to move them to around hip width apart. Come tall, keep engaged, keep the hips and shoulders pointing to the front. We're going to do some leg curls. So this is all about the hamstrings. Weight in one leg and slowly squeeze the heel towards the body and down. And the other side. So keep the knee pointing downwards. This is a slow version of an exercise and a warm-up that we do very often, but this time a little bit more considered and really squeezing into those hamstrings. If you put your hands on the back of the thighs, you will feel that the only thing moving at the moment is the hamstrings, which are pulling the lower leg up. Keeping the knee pointing downwards means that it's just the hamstrings that are firing. 2 more. 1 and 2. Excellent. Excellent. Now keep the feet hip width apart. We're going to mobilize the shoulders now. So fix the hips, engage the core. We're going to move the hands out to the front, palms downwards, shoulders just a little bit forwards. And now we're going to bring the elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades together and forwards again. So pushing the shoulder blades apart, bringing them together. So keep the shoulders down, but just stretch forward, squeeze them back. Open up the shoulder blades, squeeze them back. So keep the spine neutral. Don't lean and move the hips. 2 more. And last one. Now come with the arms out the front. Reach here. We're going to do another movement for the shoulder blades. We're going to work diagonally. So coming up diagonally, squeeze and reach. And back to the center. Other diagonal as we reach as far as we can. So stretch and reach. Stretch and reach. We're going to do 4 more, 2 on each side. 1 and 2. And the last one each side. And to the front. Now we're going to bring the arms at shoulder height out to the side. Now time to really stretch and lengthen so you feel the whole of the stretch through the upper arm and the forearm. Now standing here, we're going to turn one palm up towards the ceiling and now the other one as we rotate, just moving and rotating the shoulders, mobilizing the rotator cuffs. So keep that length in the arms, so stretch out, keep rotating. Last 2. Now from here, keep the elbows high, bring the forearms up towards the ceiling and drop 1 down. So we're going to do that rotator cuff move again. This time, we've got a little bit more leverage so we can squeeze into those muscles. Be careful not to squeeze too much, it's quite an unstable joint, but just get that motion going. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Bring the arms out again, this time with the palms facing forwards. So reach long, shoulders down, engage that core. Come tall. We're going to move the arms behind the body line if that works for you. If not, keep them in line with the body. You can feel the stretch through the chest and the front of the arms. At the same time, we're going to really push into those feet. Come tall through the body. And if you would like to, gently tilt the chin upwards so that we're now extending that spine. Breathe into that extension. We're stretching sideways and back and upwards at the same time. And now chin towards the chest as we curl back into a flexion of the spine. So big hugs. We've gone from extension to flexion. And we're going to do that again. We're going to open up, reach long, stretch the arms slightly behind the body line. Feel that stretch. And now come tall. Tilt the chin slightly in the air and extend and lengthen that spine. And now chin towards the chest as we flex the spine and give ourselves a hug the other way up. Excellent. Arms out to the sides and then down. So just reset. I've got my hands on the outside of my thighs. So I'm going to keep the weight even in the feet and I'm not going to sway my hips around as I just move my hand down towards my knee, engage the core to come back up. So keep going, alternate sides. Whereas the last movement involved very much the thoracic spine, which is the mid-back, this one is all about the lumbar spine moving side to side. So can you, keeping the hips still, just squeeze a little bit greater range of motion each time we move through. No need to force it, but just see if the body can naturally get a little bit further down as it warms up. Last one. working down the body, we're going to do a little bit of hip work now. Most important to warm up the hips. So just standing where we are, a little hula, just to release the lower back where we've been working it laterally. And we'll go back the other way. So small hulas just to wake up all those muscles around the hips and around the pelvis. Fantastic. So we're going to test our balance with hip openers. Your arms can be wherever you want them to be to help you balance. You can always keep your feet on the floor and just open up the hips with the foot on the floor if balance is a problem. If it isn't a problem, or if you would like to do a little bit further, lift the knee up to hip height. We're going to keep the hips pointing to the front as we squeeze out to the side. We're going to come back to the centre and squeeze down. 2 more this side, so open up. Ooh, can't look at it, this is where I can't look. Squeeze out to the side. So feel it in the hips, come back to the centre. Now keeping that right angle, squeeze the knee back so you can feel it in the hamstrings. And last one, up, squeeze, back and down. Excellent. Other side, so plant that foot firmly, soften the knee, knee to hip height. Open out, squeeze into that opening, back to the front and squeeze down into the hamstring. 2 more. Up, open, forward, and down and squeeze. Last time. Up and open, forward and down and squeeze. Last one for this position. We're going to wake up the glutes. So we're going to do a hip hinge, which is half a deadlift really. That's a deadlift without the feet. Feet planted firmly, hip width apart, slightly outwards. I'm going to fold forward from my hips. So my hips are going to go back, my spine is going to stay neutral. I'm going to engage the core, I'm going to look slightly ahead, hinge, till my back comes more or less parallel to the floor. I'm looking ahead, I'm lengthening my spine, engage the glutes, engage the core to stand up. We're going to do that 3 times more. I'm just going to turn around to the side so you can see it from a sideways view as I keep my spine long. I'm not flexing the spine at all. I'm hinging from the hips, engage the core to come up. 2 more. Hinging through, keeping that spine nice and neutral, none of this. Keeping it neutral, engage the glutes to pull us back up. And last one, coming down, squeeze through, engage those glutes and come back up. Keeping those feet in the same position, lightly clasp the hands, hold them at around chin height, and we're going to do some squats, your range of motion. So weight slightly in the heels as we go down and push up. So don't go very far at first, we're going to build up into these, but good squat form applies. So my hips are coming out the back so that my knees don't travel forward of my toes. My weight is slightly in my heels. I am hinging from my hips, keeping my spine long. So I'm looking up. I'm looking up more or less at my hands, which is why they're at chin height. We're going to do 3 more. Keep pushing into those heels, and the muscles we're using are the back of the body. It's called the posterior chain, the calves, the hamstrings, and the glutes. Now we're going to add on, same leg motion, flop forward and come tall. So flopping forward, flexing the spine, coming tall. Reach at the top, 2 more. Reach, and last one. Reach. Fantastic. Now bringing the legs a little bit wider than hip width apart. we are going to do some plie squats. Now, plie squats, great for the inner thighs and great for the hips. What we don't do in plie squats is stick our hips out the back. We're going to imagine we're sliding our back down a wall. Before we start, feet 45 degrees more or less and flat on the floor. The temptation is to roll them forwards in this exercise. If your feet are flat on the floor and at around 45 degrees, if you lightly flex your knees, the knees should travel in the direction of the foot, in fact, the direction of the first toe. So if you're happy, knees wide, sink down that wall. Go as low as you can go, hold here, squeeze into the inner thigh and squeeze back up slowly. We're going to do another 4 of these, so just sinking down to your level, sliding that back down the wall, squeeze and up. So it's tension down, so it's squeezing down and squeezing back up again. 2 more, that's all. Squeeze down, squeeze up. Last one, here we go. Squeezing down, keep those feet flat on the floor, the knees wide, and squeeze up. Now bring the legs back to hip width apart for our final exercise. Just give them a little shake if they're a little bit stiff. Feet hip width apart. We're going to fix our hips and our shoulders. So we are going to move in the transverse plane. We're just going to rotate round. Now obviously, if our hips and shoulders are fixed, there's not an awful lot that can move. We're working a little bit of the shoulders, but there's nothing much that's moving here. So keeping the hips fixed, let's release the shoulders. So first thing that happens is we can get a bigger rotation. Let the head and neck go as well. Keep the hips pointing towards the camera here. Just relax the arms, let them go naturally, and you should feel the middle back rotating. And the rotation point somewhere around the bottom of the rib cage, in that sort of area of the spine. But just let the spine go. And now we're going to go the whole way. We're going to release the hips, but as we do, lift the rear heel off the floor so that we're not rotating through the knees. Okay, here we go. So turn and turn and turn. Now just let the arms go, let them relax, and let that body rotate and mobilize through the hips and through the spine for 4 and 3. 2, 1. Excellent. And we're warm. I shall see you for the session. Hello, welcome to Pilates Mat Work Session 2. This is another intermediate level class, and I will be giving modifications and progressions throughout. So please make sure you work at your own level. Most of all, enjoy it and have fun. Let's begin. Okay, we're going to start kneeling. So kneeling upright, one leg out to the side. So I'm pushing up through my hips. My foot is at the front and my heel is level with my knee. Shoulders down, engage the core. Here we go, we're going to dip down away from the knee, away from that extended leg. So dip down, look up to the top hand, engage the core, engage the obliques as we come back up. 3 more. Dip down, engage, and come up. So this is a lateral move. Imagine we're sandwiched between those 2 imaginary panes of glass. 3 and last one. Dip down, engage the core, obliques as we come up. Now stretch the arms long, reach over and away from the extended leg and stretch long. Stretching out and hold and breathe for 3, for 2, for 1 and up we come. One more time. reaching over the head, reaching long, stretching the foot away, stretching the arms away, hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and come back upright again. Drop down one more time, place the hand on the floor, upper hand comes on the hips as my leg comes off the floor. My foot is still facing to the front. Engage that core so that the hips are now stable and kick through that leg. It doesn't have to be hip height, but make sure that the core is engaged, because the essential thing here is that the pelvis is stable. So only kick and only move that leg as far as you can keep that pelvis stable. 2 more. Last one. Excellent work. Come up. We're going to do the same thing the other side. So extend that leg out. My heel is opposite my knee. Arms out. Reach long. Shoulders down. I'm pushing up through that supporting knee. Here we go. Dropping down to the side. Looking up towards the upper arm. Engage the core. And come back up. 3 more. Drop down. Engage. 2 more now, dropping down, keeping that T shape as much as you can, and up. Last one, using that waist to pull us up. Up we come. Shrug those shoulders down, lengthen the arms as we stretch one arm over the head and reach away from that extended foot and hold and breathe for 3, for 2, for 1, and go again, arm over the head, hold and stretch away. Make sure you don't arch the back, and hold for 3, for 2, for 1. And up we come. Drop the arms down, look up at the top arm as we make a stable support with that lower hand. Upper hand comes onto the hip as I raise my extended leg out. So getting ready, extend that leg and engage the core and kick. So imagine now we're just sweeping the crumbs off a table. Just kick in the range of motion that you can do to keep the pelvis stable. 2 more now. And coming back up. Great work. We're moving straight into a seated move. On this, we start from a V-sit position, or a sitting position with the feet on the floor. We're going to do some roll backs. So first of all, sit up tall. So we're sitting on the sit bones. My spine is neutral. Take the hands, hold them lightly behind the thighs. What we're going to do first is just tilt the pelvis towards us. So by doing that, my back is now curving out. So it's slightly C-curved, and we're doing that so that we don't start really arching and pulling on the lower back. So tilting the pelvis towards us, supporting ourselves behind the thighs, we're going to roll down, lower back to middle back. Tilting that pelvis down, only go as far as you want to, and now engage the core. Those little cogs are whirring as we come back up and come back to neutral. So we go again, rolling down, supporting on our hands and supporting behind our thighs. Keep those shoulders down, core engaged, and we roll back up again. Now you can continue doing that level. If you want to progress, bring the arms out the front. So shoulders down, coming up tall. Now tilt the hips towards us. And here we go. Rolling down, holding there, engaging the core. The front abdominals working to roll us back up again. One more time here. Rolling down, tipping the pelvis towards us. Roll, 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 roll. Only go as far as you can. Those cogs in the front of the abdominals whirring as we come back up. Fantastic. Now we can go further. We're going to go down and add a twist. You can stay at whichever level you'd like to. So rolling down again. We're going to stop at that bottom end. We're going to bring the arms out to the side, still holding here. One arm to the other, one arm to the other. Hold here and roll ourselves back up and coming tall. So rolling back down with the arms at the front. Bring the arms into the T position, engaging that core. Bring one arm to the other. And again. And we're going to roll back up. Last time. So coming tall, your choice of move. Rolling down, holding here. Arms out to the side. Tap one to the other. Tap the other. Arms to the front and roll back up. Nice work. We're going to remain in this B-sitting position and we're going to hold behind the thighs again. Before we do, we're going to turn and really tilt the pelvis towards us so we're balancing on the coccyx here. I'm going to float one leg up into tabletop and the other leg up into tabletop. So in tabletop, my shins are parallel to the floor. I'm supporting myself behind my thighs at the moment. So tapping lightly, one foot on the floor, returning to tabletop. Now, if you're enjoying that, release the hands. Engage that core. Now, the more strongly you engage the core, the less pull there will be on the hip flexors. There's a bit of an interplay between the hip flexors and the core muscles around here. Two more. And now can we tap both feet together? Down, up. Keep those shoulders down and keep breathing. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Fantastic work. Can you hold there? Would you like to keep tapping or add a little bit on? We're going to go out and we're going to come back up again. Stretching out long, back just touches the floor, feet are off the ground. Of course you can put your feet on the ground at any time and come back up. If this doesn't work for you, carry on doing the standard ones. If that doesn't work for you, you can prop yourself up on your elbows and bring the legs up along the floor or even slightly off the floor. Either way, there is an exercise that will work for you and a level that will work for you. 3 more with control. 3 and 2 and 1. Nice work, excellent work. Just sit off for a moment and just shake yourself off. We are going to roll down into a bridge position. So here we go. That was very much strength-based. So we're going to do just a little bit of mobilization of the spinal, lumbar spine here. Arms by the sides, back is long, head and shoulders relaxed. Tilt the pelvis down towards you. Fill in that gap that is the gap between the lumbar spine and the mat, and then tilt the pelvis back and that arch appears. So go again, pushing and back. The core is engaged. Now this time can you roll just a little bit off the floor and a little bit back down again. So each time now we're going to peel another vertebra or 2 off the mat and roll them with control. Back and down. Rolling up. You need the core here to separate the vertebra. Rolling on back down. 1 vertebra at a time, a little bit like a bicycle chain. Last 2 times. And the last time we go, we are going to come up to a full bridge. So here we go, full bridge position. So my knees, my hips and my shoulders are in a straight line. My glutes are engaged. I'm imagining I'm squeezing a ball between my knees. And my weight at the moment is between my shoulder blades and not on the back of my neck. So from here, let's just do some ordinary hip touches onto the mat. So engage the glutes, touch the hips down, push them back up. So we're going to do 5 in total. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So that was just a little strength interlude to get us used to the bridge that's going to follow. So now roll back down, vertebra by vertebra by vertebra, using that core, and come back to neutral. Great work. Now, as I indicated, we have got a strength bridge, but this time we're going to do it in a number of different positions, and we are going to do those same hip pulses. So first thing, just reset on the mat. Bring your heels up as far as you can towards the body. We're going to start with our feet near the body and work the feet outwards. There will come a point where your hamstrings or your glutes really don't like doing these bridges, at which point, obviously, or preferably before, just stop. You will know when it's not right for you. So only go as far as what works and listen to your body. So we are going to start off just in a standard bridge. Engage the glutes, tip the pelvis slightly towards us to engage the glutes and raise up. So we've now got glutes engaged, hamstrings engaged. 4 hip taps and up. So tap the hips, back up, tap, back up, tap, back up. Fantastic, but quite easy. What if you took a step forward? Keep those hips high. Now, what's going to happen as we move our feet away from the body is the relative use of the hamstrings compared to the glutes is going to get greater. So more hamstring work, less glutes. So 4 taps, 2, 3, make sure you don't arch the back and overextend when you come up. And now, can you walk forward just a little bit more again? 1 further step. My legs really are not terribly bent now. Can you hold the hips up? Keep holding the hips up. You should be feeling it now in the hamstrings. Hold them high. And 5 taps. 1, 2, I think it's only 4 taps, wasn't it? 3 and 4. Now, last one. Can you move your heels away from the body? So we're moving our legs further away still, but I can't get my whole foot on the floor now. I'm just resting on my heels. Can you hear? Lift your hips off the floor now. Please watch out for the hamstrings. Push first into the heels, engage the core, engage the glutes, and lift. Hold it here, and tap, down, tap, down, tap, down, tap. Here we go. Legs a bit nearer. We'll start working back in. Up we come. 4 taps. Hold here. Keep the hips high. Legs a little bit further towards the body. Reset. Tap, tap. Keep those glutes engaged the whole time. You should feel it more now back in the glutes. Last one. Heels right as near as you can towards the body and tap down and up. Weight slightly in the heels. 2 and 3 and 4. Great work. Now, we've done 2 bridges. We are going to now go on our side for a little bit of side work. The first one, I'm going to be on my forearm. So my elbow is under my shoulder. I'm pushing down on that forearm. My knee or my back is parallel to the back of the mat. My hips are stacked So it's actually slightly uncomfortable. If I was laying back, it would be more comfortable, but that is not the right position. We want one hip bone on top of the other, and we are going to engage and hold together the ankles and the knees. Now notice my legs are bent, my feet are more or less parallel with the line of my back. Okay, so keeping my ankles together, I'm going to put my hand on my gluteus medius, so this bone up here and the top of my hip. Now engage. Imagine you're trying to pull your ankles up towards your body, but you're not physically going to move them, you're just trying to pull them up towards the body. That will engage the hamstrings and it will engage the glutes. Keeping those ankles fixed together, lift up the upper knee, just move around, squeeze as high as you can, but without moving that hip. We're going to do another 5, so 6 in total. You are your own resistance for this exercise. We are working the gluteus medius, so the muscles of the upper glutes here. And we've got another 3. And 2, so squeeze in as far as you can. It's all about that little squeeze just at the end. 1. Work. Now we've done that. Can we now, with the leg bent, just do 6 pulses towards the ceiling? So keep the leg bent. Don't turn the knee up towards the ceiling. Keep it pointing to the front and squeeze 6 times in 6 pulses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, we're working on to another little side exercise, a bit of a strength one, this one, and you have a choice. We're going to do a side plank. It's going to be on the forearm. A side plank can either be kneeling like this. So I've got my lower knee on the floor, I've got a lovely triangle, so almost a right angle triangle here. So that will work in one sense, or you can lift both feet off the floor and have a triangle like this. So whatever works for you. I'm going to do it full triangle, but we are going to stretch away. So really reach away, knee to elbow, stretch away, tap to the floor, to the front, knee to elbow, tap. We've got another 5 more. Knee to elbow, reach away, tap, knee to elbow, stretch, tap. Remember, you can be on your knees. 4 more. Engage that core, keep those hips stacked. And 3, reach, 2, and breathe, and 1. Excellent. Now we're going from here, we're going to go in our fronts. I'm just going to turn around because I'm going to do the other side in a minute. So the one exercise we're going to do prone today is a prone W. This is all about extending and lengthening through our whole of our spine. So the first thing to do is get ourselves set up on the mat. So prone setup, just rest yourself on your hands or rest a chin on your hands, shoulders back and down, hips are lying level on the mat. So they are sitting comfortably. I am going to squeeze my inner thighs and my glutes together. We're going to be engaged. So the whole of my lower body is now active. And finally, I'm going to pull my tummy button off the mat. So I'm going to imagine there's an ice cube there, and I'm going to pull that off the mat and engage the whole of my core. Okay, with this engagement around the middle and lower body, we're going to work the upper body, thoracic spine and shoulders. So here we go. I'm going to reach out the front. Just rest your chin lightly on the mat. And now I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to bring the arms back in a W shape, and I'm going to extend away from that body, squeezing the shoulders together, or squeezing the shoulder blades together, but I'm going to extend the crown of the head away from the soles of the feet. And we're going to go again. We're going to do another 3. So inhale to prepare, and now exhale. We're going to lengthen that body away, extend that spine. Can you grow any longer? And hold and breathe for 3, for 2, for 1, and stretch out. And remember, this move is all about length. It's not about height off the mat. Your body probably will rise off the mat, but it's about the length and extending through that spine. And of course, the control. So reaching long, engage that core, squeeze the glutes together, and we'll go for the 3rd time. So exhale, breathe out, squeeze the shoulder blades together, elongate that spine, push the feet away, push the crown of the head away, looking slightly ahead, and down we go. So we're not looking directly up in the air, we're not looking directly down at the mat, we're doing a sort of halfway house. Last one, let's make it a good one. So breathe in, and now exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Squeeze, 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 and lengthen that body. Really lengthen, pushing the crown of the head away from the soles of the feet. And breathe in, we hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and out. Great work. Okay, the last exercise then is that side move on the other side. So we are going to get ourselves set up with forearms on the mat, elbow under shoulder. I'm going to have a nice clear bit of air between my ear and my shoulder. I'm not going to lean into it like that. My back is parallel to the mat, and my hips are now stacked. My legs are bent and my feet are more or less in line with my back. Okay, just feeling on the hip here. I'm squeezing my glutes, squeezing my hamstrings, and I'm imagining I'm bringing my ankles towards my body. That way it activates all my lower legs and upper legs. So here we go. Keeping the ankles together, raise the top knees, squeeze in. Don't move that pelvis at all. So squeeze as high as you can without moving, squeezing into the glutes here. Hold and down. So you are your resistance. Another 4. So pushing up, push, push, push. Squeeze as you can and back down. Remember to keep the hips stacked. Preferably, if you can, keep them rolled ever so slightly forward rather than go ever so slightly back. So forward is preferable. Squeeze and down. Last one coming up. So squeeze, squeezing up. Keep those hips still. Feel it in the glutes, the top glutes. Squeezing and down. Excellent. So the last exercise is that kneeling plank. So either kneeling, and we can do the exercise tapping, or we can go long. So I'm going to go long at the moment. I'm going to stretch out, and we're going to do 7 of these. So knee to elbow, lengthen, tap to the front, back. Knee to elbow, lengthen, tap to the front, back. So that's 2. And this is the 4th. 2 more, keep those hips high. And last one. Really reach. Fantastic work. Let's cool down. Hello, welcome to our Pilates cool down. Are you ready to go? Okay, we're back onto our backs. So we're laying down, just relaxing on the mat. So we're in rest position, My legs are relaxed, my feet on the floor, my spine is long along the mat, my shoulders down and my head and neck relaxed, looking at the ceiling. Put the arms out to the sides, feet and knees together, and now gently drop those knees down to one side, being careful not to arch your back. So keep the shoulders on the floor as much as possible, and just breathe into that stretch of the lower back. Keep breathing in. And now push up with the lower leg and drop the knees the other side. So feel again that stretch in the lower back as we try and keep our shoulders on the floor. Holding here. Breathe slowly into that stretch and feel the lower back relaxing. So push up with the lower knee and drop the knees back onto the first side, but this time we're bringing the arms round to meet them. Now, if you need to, this is the time to put a small towel just under your head to prop the head up just a little bit. If you're okay, carry on. We're going to keep the knees and the ankles together. Hands out here. I'm going to open up, keeping the knees and ankles together. I'm going to open up in a chest stretch. So this time, the stretch should be felt more in the middle of the back. And of course across the stretch, keep across the chest. Keep moving and keep pushing those knees and those ankles together. Breathe into that. Now if you're not feeling this stretch, extend the lower leg out. Let that front knee just roll forward. So we're now rotating just a little bit more through the body, and you should now feel a bit more of a stretch in the middle of the spine. Fantastic work. We're going to do this the other side. Now you can just roll over. I am going to just turn around so I'm still facing the camera. So we're laying on our side, arms out the front, knees and ankles together. Towel under head if you need. And open out into a chest stretch. So feel the stretch through that mid-back and of course across the chest. Breathe into that stretch, making sure we're not arching the back. If you want to increase the stretch further, extend the lower leg, drop the roll the top knee towards the mat, and we've just got that little bit more stretch in the body itself. Fantastic. Back to our starting position. We're rolling over onto our backs once more with our legs bent. And we're going to do some hamstring stretches. So with one leg bent, lift one leg up towards the ceiling. Doesn't have to be totally straight if you can't. Hold behind the thigh or behind the calf, not behind the knee. And walk that extended leg towards your body. Only go as far as it is uncomfortable. It shouldn't be painful. So hold. When you get to that point of resistance, just hold. Breathe into that stretch. Relax the body as much as you can and feel the pull in the upper back of the leg. It should begin to subside as the stretch reflex decreases. Once this happens, if you can and if you want to, just walk the foot a little bit nearer to the body and hold again. And breathe into it. Great, now just gently put that leg down. We're going to do the same with the other leg. So lift the other leg up towards the ceiling, holding behind the thigh or behind the calf. Walk the leg towards you until you feel the pull in the hamstrings, uncomfortable but not painful. When you get to that point of resistance, hold and breathe into that stretch. So breathing through, holding those legs, and just let that stretch reflex subside. And once it has done, just walk the foot just a little bit closer to the body. Again, shouldn't be painful. You should be able to feel it, but it should not be painful. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Great. Gently put this foot down. Take the first leg, put the ankle over the knee. We're going to pulse the raised knee away from and towards the body. So this is working the outer thigh and the glutes. So towards and away. At the same time, I'm going to take the same hand as the knee that's pulsing. I'm going to put it just below the knee, and now I'm going to bring the knee towards the body and resist it with the hand. So you will feel it in the core. Keep pressing the lower back towards the mat, and you'll feel it as well in the inner thighs. So just squeeze and hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Now release and lightly lift that supporting leg off the mat. Bring it towards you, and you'll now feel a greater stretch in the outer thigh and the glutes. So just keep stretching. If you want to, you can gently just pulse. It's a bit more of an active stretch. So 3, 2, 1. While we're here and on this leg, drop the foot down. Completely cross one leg over the other. So very relaxed. It looks as though we're just settling down to watch a bit of TV. But what we're going to do is bring the upper knee towards us. Hold both shins. Bring them towards the chest bone, the sternum, breastbone. Lift the head up if you want to, and pull the knees towards the body. Now you should feel it in the same side as we've just been stretching, but it's a different muscle. It's a different muscle in the glute called the piriformis, and that did a lot of work in the clam. So keep squeezing, hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and relax. Now swap legs. First time we're going to put ankle over knee and gently pulse the raised knee away from and towards the body. So gently pulsing, getting a little bit of active stretching through the outer thighs. Take this hand at the knee that's pulsing, put it below the knee, engage the core as you bring the knee towards the body, oppose it with the hand, and make sure that the lower back doesn't raise off the mat. And squeeze, and really squeeze, you should feel it in the thigh as well. 3, 2, 1. And gently release, and slowly lift the supporting leg off the mat. So now increasing the stretch down the outside of this thigh and into the glute. We're going to pulse, just gently. 3, 2, 1. Dropping that supporting leg back down onto the mat. I'm going to fully cross the legs. Again, make sure we're not arching the lower back off the floor. Keep it nice and neutral. Engage the core as I bring both knees towards the sternum. Squeeze and hold on to both shins. And if you want to, just lift your head towards the front knee as well. Really pull the knees up towards the chin and feeling that stretch across in the piriformis muscle. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Excellent. Knees back down. We're going to come up to a kneeling position. So, the final stretch is to stretch the hip flexors. So I'm going to put one foot forward. I'm going to push my hips forward. I'm going to push them forward, keeping my spine neutral without arching, so I can feel the stretch of the front of my leg. That's the hip flexor. So first of all, get that stretch. Now, raise the same arm up in the air as the knee is on the mat. Reach that arm to the ceiling. So we're now increasing the stretch in the hip flexor, pulling it upwards, and we've got a bit of a stretch in the obliques as well. Now 3 pulses over the raised legs. So 1, 2, 3. Come back up. Stretch the arms wide. Reaching wide towards the walls, we're going to turn around, keeping this T position and move in the transverse plane. So shoulders down, just rotate over that raised leg, and 3 small pulses. And back to the front. We'll do the other leg. Here we go. So pushing those hips forwards. So feeling the stretch in the hip flexor. I'm going to stretch forward and now raising up. So you're feeling the stretch here, feeling the stretch up there. Really reach. And 1, 2, 3. And arms out to the side. Turning and rotating over that raised leg. 3 small pulses. And back to the front. Excellent work. Well done. I'll see you for the next session. Until then, keep well, stay safe. Bye-bye.